Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we review Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Evil just messed with the wrong hillbillies.
Written and directed by Eli Craig, starring Tyler Labine, Alan Tudyk, and Katrina Bowden. This movie's about a huge misunderstanding. A couple of hillbillies save a college student's life while she's swimming and she falls off a rock. Unfortunately, her friends think that the hillbillies have abducted her and took her captive.
Ah, we got your friend!
Oh God! They got Allison! So now it's college kids and hillbillies in a fight for survival. This is a highly requested review, and we're actually doing it because of a Patreon winner who won our monthly movie raffle, The Morphew. He's been recommending this, and thankfully we got to do this movie because we've wanted to do it for so long. It's just kind of gets pushed aside a little bit. We were waiting for the sequel to do it. And we've not heard anything about the sequel in probably 2 years. So, The Morphew, thank you very much for the recommendation. Let's get into our likes.
I think the best part of this film is the fact that this whole thing is a huge misunderstanding, and you actually see how the college kids would assume that Tucker and Dale are killing their friends, but then you get to see the whole perspective of Tucker and Dale getting attacked by the college kids, and it's hilarious.
The whole movie is poking fun at slashers and the situations that the college kids get in. So it's a straight up parody, and it's hilarious because, like, if you were in the situations of the college students, you'd probably do what they're doing.
When we get back, I'll finish her off real quick and then we'll get back to work, okay?
They're gonna kill her.
What helps with the humor are the actors. I think Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine are excellent together.
Just smile and laugh. That shows confidence.
You guys, going camping?
I've been a fan of Tyler Labine's for a very long time, since way back in a Canadian show called Breaker High. If you haven't seen it, you need to YouTube it. It's amazing. And Alan Tudyk, of course, you know from Firefly. And they just play off one another so well.
Alan Tudyk and Tyler Labine were perfect for each other in this one, especially because Tyler Labine is playing the innocent, soft, likable character, and Alan Tudyk is just as likable, but if stuff is gonna happen to someone, it has to happen to him, and the way that he just reacts. He's so calm throughout the whole thing, and he just like shrugs it off.
We came out here to work. Not sit around playing stupid board games.
It was my fault. I suckered him into playing.
No, that's not true.
And I think that's what's best about the two of them, is no matter the situation, it's like, this is the most serious thing that's going down, and they just shrug it off. And what ties it all in together is Katrina Bowden's character, Allie, and she did a great job in this film because, again, she is a likable character. Though she is a college student, she's like the one that ties it all in, and with her being the hostage, it just set up for all these good situations.
It's also nice that she's like super gorgeous. Most of you probably recognize her from Piranha 3 Double D as Shelby, who has a piranha in her vagina. Or if you watch 30 Rock.
It gives hope for guys like us when you see Tyler Labine going after the perfect girl.
It definitely has like, hey man, just go try. There's gonna be some problems, there's gonna be some hiccups, but what's the worst that's gonna happen? Okay, maybe all of her friends die and get murdered all over the place, but there's hope yet.
And speaking of murders, this film had great kills.
You okay?
Now, no one was killing anyone, but the gore was fantastic, and it was like funny fantastic. Like, this is definitely a comedy, but like when they're throwing people getting impaled or impaling themselves, it looks good on the screen. And I think they did a really good job capturing all these kills.
And you can't have a horror parody without some douchebag named Chad, and we have one hell of a douchebag right here with Jesse Moss.
You know, you can drop the act now. I mean, you are better than everyone else.
I hated him, but like, you're supposed to hate him. I think he did a great job being like the most unlikable person that I've ever seen. This is a bit off topic, but still something I've very much enjoyed, which was Chloe. I mean, we had Katrina Bowden, and she was great, but Chloe was stunning, she was ditzy, and she was getting covered in blood all the time, and this is kind of something that I enjoy. Let's move on to our dislikes. Well, in general, I do enjoy the pacing of this movie because it's fairly fast-paced. Towards the final act, it kind of slows down, and I didn't really love it. It's hard to put my finger on exactly why I didn't like it. Considering I liked all the people involved, I just don't know. It was a little bit too slow moving for me.
I felt like the college kids killing themselves off was too spread out for the situation. It's like one dies, and then we go like a whole night with nothing, and then another one dies, and then we go hours with nothing. And I felt because they had so many students in this film that you could have had them like go at a faster pace, having Tucker and Dale more in a panic than the calm nature that they were. Because when they first realized it, yes, slow the film down and then start it again. But what ended up happening was the second round of the college students killing themselves, it felt too spaced out for the urgency of the situation.
And while this is fairly nitpicky, I feel like Allie didn't really care that much that her friends died. Like, she didn't even like acknowledge that any of them died. She never like was sad. She like laughed it off at parts. It just seemed a little odd. If all of my friends died that I grew up with or went to college with, if I had like 6 or 7 buddies we're going to the cottage with, and they're all dead by the end of it, and it's just me, I would not be happy. I wouldn't go bowling. I just think I'd need a few minutes to just collect my thoughts, sit down, have a tea maybe, and a little cry. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is easily one of my favorite horror comedies, and when somebody who doesn't watch horror movies asks me for a recommendation, it's almost always my go-to. It's hilarious, it's gory, it has the tropes that you know from slasher movies. All in all, it's just a really great time with some great actors playing some great characters. While I do have a slight issue with some of the pacing towards the end of the film, I always like it. I've seen this movie like 20 times, and I'll probably watch it again within the next 3 months. So I'm gonna give this 4.5 Woody the Woodchippers out of 5.
Tucker and Dale vs. Evil is always a fun time. You can just put it on whether you like horror films or don't, because the comedy is what makes this film awesome. Yes, we have some great kills, and we have amazing characters. Tyler Labine and Alan Tudyk do a great job playing Tucker and Dale. The situations that they're put in the story is what makes it really funny, and for horror fans, they're gonna love all the gore, and they're gonna love the parody aspect of the genre. My only issue is the situations that they're put in. I felt that the pacing was a little off. They could have sped a few things up instead of having the deaths so far apart, because it took away from the urgency and the intensity of what the film was representing. But overall, it is a fun time, and I do recommend this for everyone. So with that being said, I'm gonna give this film 4 Pabst Blue Ribbons wearing a red ribbon out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't, there are links in the description where you can find it, but it's also always on Netflix, so you can watch it there. And if you want the opportunity to recommend a movie for us to review, check out the Patreon. Links also in the description. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond. I'm sorry for pointing so many times.